But if Death Design Poppy comes back, we are going to have an awesome time cutting some of those amazing Poppy plays, and because he's OP. He's seriously OP on that champion.
Yeah, Death's Design, that just means we have to get you back into a game so we can get some fresh Poppy highlights. That's all that is.
Pretty much.
Speaking of highlights, sorry,
Go
I got
ahead.
distracted. What do you think about that Akali rework they showed off today?
I'm not an insane fan of the splash art, but the video that they posted of her and Shen was perfect. Her playstyle, I need to actually see a breakdown of all of her skills before I make a major assessment of all of it. But she looks very interesting. She's kind of like the Aatrox rework, where they keep some things similar, but they also change a number of things as well. I think the one thing I don't like out of all of it is that they took away her double hook knives, and instead she now has like one hook knife and one just backwards blade. I'm not crazy about that, but the rest of it I'm totally cool with. The rest of it I'm pretty much on par with. So,
well, speaking of Aatrox, looks like he got a ban from the side of Team Bacon there.
Yeah, banned away, as well as the Vlad, Darius, and Morgana banned away by Team Anti-Corn, or it's Anti-Com, but I'm gonna change it to Anti-Corn.
I thought it was supposed to be Anti-Corn.
I'm not sure how that got
didn't say
shifted.
anything.
But you know what? We got it fixed. And I wanted to announce, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming out. This is XLNC Shoutcasting, game number 1, River SLV. Thank you for joining. Feel free to hit that exclamation mark join, as well as your in-game name to get you into game number 2, as I have Q logging everyone who wants to get into a game, as well as the rest of you that aren't even playing in the game, but hanging out, chatting, participating nonetheless. Appreciate that. And stick around for games 2 and 3 because we got a lot more fun on the way, as Lee Sin will be the first pickup for Team Bacon. Wait. Oh, it's going to be Tryndamere.
Oh, switched over to Tryndamere.
All right.
I gotta admit, I kind of like the pick. I'm a little confused though, because normally we see Delicious Seal running up to the top lane immediately, and that did swap the teleport and ignite over to Smite, so it looks like that's gonna be a Tryndamere jungle possibly. As Seshat picks up the Leona, we continually talk about how powerful this pick actually is, and normally it hits the ban table in the first wave, so I'm excited to see somebody get to play it today. What are you thinking on that? I know you love your Leona.
I love it, especially if it's paired with this Ashe. Well, Miss Fortune's pretty good too.
Miss Fortune's good too.
I was going to say with the Ashe, it's great for the CC layering. When you get a Zenith Blade into a stun, straight into an Ashe arrow, into a Leona ultimate, you can time so many of those CCs until they're stunned for 8 seconds or more. It's insane how much you can layer that and easily be able to pick somebody off, and then it's a 2v1 in the bottom lane. Miss Fortune, another nice pairing as well, simply because Miss Fortune these days is all about building high damage lethality on hit. All she has to do is auto you or Q you one time, and you get a massive chunk of your health dropped. Now, normally, Miss Fortune's more of a poke lane because she hits you with an auto, then backs out. However, paired with that Leona, going in, she's going to have enough CC that Miss Fortune can either just continue to auto them, or especially past 6, has that bullet time to just throw down massive damage. If Leona can get a nice ultimate hitting multiple people, it's going to be some serious wombo combo.
I am completely in agreement there, as we see DRF Dive picking up the Yasuo and Fallen Angel grabbing the Ashe there to round out the first round of picks, coming over from the side of Bacon, and Enzalor picks up the Lux to finish up Anti-Corn's first round as we go into the second stage of bans. So the first thing I'm noticing is that we got a lot of AD damage on the side of Team Bacon, so they are looking a little bit light. I'm looking for them to pick up some magic damage, especially since I'm anticipating right now that Yasuo is actually going to get traded to Delicious Seal to the top lane. As that's one of his two power picks. So
it's Team Bacon, man. You gotta like sizzle the stove. You gotta make it pop. You gotta make it spicy. I think full AD damage bruiser the whole way and just smash the lane. No, you're right. The overall for team composition, having a little AP would be good. I'm kind of hoping on a little bit of the soft side, even though they probably aren't because of the composition we see so far, that they would pick a Sejuani, because they would have the boar for Team Bacon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe that's rude to the pigs. Maybe don't do that. You don't want Bristle smelling his dead relatives. So it should be Delicious Seal trading to the top lane, but as it stands, Dive could take Yasuo in the mid lane, and we could see Delicious Seal picking up something else. Could it be the Teemo because Team Anti-Corn has not banned Teemo, and they're out of bans at this point, finishing off with the Alistar Talon. Will it be the Teemo Delicious? Probably not. He has yet to play Teemo on stream, so I doubt it.
Well, who was it that he played last week when they did ban Yasuo and Darius against him?
He has played Darius the most, followed by Yasuo, and then he's played a handful of Aatrox, but he's not nearly as good, especially since it's the Aatrox rework. And if he's played a fourth thing, it's been a very long time since we've seen a fourth thing.
I like Malithor taking the Zac here. That is a lot. That is a ton of engage coming out on the side of Anti-Corn. If they catch anybody out of position on the side of Team Bacon, they're going to go in and make that a destructive battle as Delicious Heal picks up the Zed with Talimare's Poppy. That is a full AD team over there.
Unless it's AP Poppy, which is very doubtful. It's going to be some serious pain from Team Bacon. Let's see if they can slice their way through the Jelly Man of Zac. I was thinking it would be nice if they had paired it with an Orianna in the mid lane, but then I reverted it on myself and said Lux is probably better, because if you put too many people on the Wombo combo and rely too heavily on getting a group man, Orianna ultimate, into Leona ultimate, into Zac engage, you try to layer them too much, they'll likely never find that perfect engage. So instead, having Lux as kind of a little bit of extra CC with those light bindings, and then having the final spark to try to pick anybody off that's either from a distance or that gets engaged upon, but she doesn't have to be right there in the middle of the fight. I like it. And even more so, Mundo being that beefy frontline tank. We keep talking about how so many of these teams don't take enough tank in the front line that's able to absorb that initial damage. And so far, Anti-Corn has drafted themselves a sick composition, whereas Team Bacon really has to put that crazy pressure on as an all-AD team from the very get-go.
They do, however, if it does make it to the team fight stage, I do still like Bacon's chances just because of the fact that they've got two solid divers. They've got the Assassin and the Zed, and then Talimare, who can make himself invulnerable as he goes into the backline to prevent himself from dying, so he can take out the Misfortune, take out the Lux. If they can coordinate those dives onto the two enemy carries, I would not be surprised to see a fight very quickly turn into a 3v5 in the favor of Team Bacon, just because they've got those two carries very capable of diving the backline and taking out their opponents.
Yeah, being able to peel for the Lux and Misfortune, because when you look at Anti-Corn, you've got Tank Leona, Engage Zac, Tank Dr. Mundo, and two damage dealers, which is your typical normal build for a team composition. But if they get assassinated by that Zed or Yasuo, you take out those damage dealers. I nearly want to fight playing top AD Blitzcrank because I grabbed the one damage dealer of Draven on the enemy team, and we won a team fight that almost led to a win for our team. Now, in the end, we lost because we had Jungle Vladimir and some crazy troll picks. But at the same time, if you eliminate the damage dealers, it's a lot easier to kill the tanks afterwards. So we'll see if Team Bacon can make it happen. Let's roll through the players and their champions for game number 1 of the evening. The Lord of Dongs taking Tryndamere in the jungle. DRF dive on the Yasuo, most likely for the mid lane. Fallen Angel, YT16, year 16, taking Ashe in the bottom lane AD carry role. Talimare with the most likely support Poppy, and Delicious Seal on the Zed in the top lane.
Meanwhile, on the other side for Team Anti-Corn, we've got Seishat playing Leona, supporting Teleporting Noodles Misfortune in the bot lane. Lux played by Enzalor in the mid lane. EIQ Malithor, welcome to the stream, playing Zac in the jungle, with DRF Zeno piloting Dr. Mundo in the top lane.
That's design. Pretty sure Poppy can 1v3. If you're playing Poppy, absolutely, hands down, I can believe it. Talimare playing Poppy, it's possible. We'll have to see, especially when it comes to... And that's another good thing to talk about with that Poppy, is the rework on her ultimate that means that she knocks those enemy champions back to the base. If she can target the front line of the Mundo, Zac, or Leona after she's engaged, you kick them to the back of the team fight. The Lux and Misfortune are right there, free for the picking. And so...
The only...
Go ahead.
I was going to say, the only hang-up I would see with that is that the good thing about the Misfortune and Lux is they have a little bit of self-peel. Both of them have a slow they can layer and kind of basically occupy an entire lane if they choose to do so.
So we'll have to see. The other thing I want to watch is for the objective gameplay of these two. It's very easy for Zac to hop over a wall with those stretching strikes to get in to steal away the Baron, or for Tryndamere to just spin through the back of the Dragon Pit and steal away Dragon when there's no wards on it. There's a lot of opportunity for them to take some of these bigger buffs. And one of the things that in my solo queue games that I found, teams don't value the Rift Herald enough. If you take Rift Herald these days, it's a free tower. If not 1, 2, maybe 3, if you line it right with minions and have another player or 2 for the pressure. Rift Herald is insanely strong, and it's so easy to take as long as you send your jungler and top laner or your jungler and mid laner there. It's only going to take you a minute or 2 to kill it. You pick up the buff, and then you just decide whatever lane you just don't want the tower and say, yeah, you know what, take this tower out. And it's basically a free tower for your team. So I'd love to see either of these teams prioritize that a little bit more, get themselves a pushing lane, especially for Team Anticorn that has a teleport Mundo, which gives them the opportunity to not only have a split push Mundo, but he can teleport into a team fight as well, so there's no fear of him being left out to dry. And having the Rift Herald to get that split push lane pressure going is so good for the side of Anticorn if they decide to focus on that Rift Herald.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see exactly what these teams pull off, what they go for. Personally, I am favoring tanks, 2 carries. But like I said, I can see Bacon coming away with a team fight here at the end of the game if they do end up getting that Tryndamere and Zed on a proper dive without being CC'd to death. But that's the question, is can they make it past the Zac Leona Mundo?
Another thing I want to see is if Tryndamere decides to do any fancy things. He's one of those champions that level 2, he could actually get some pretty good engages off. Grab red buff, spin into a lane. All he has to do is auto attack someone to get the slows, either a free flash or potentially a kill if it's on someone that's even squishier like a Misfortune. Or if he decides to pair up with, say, the Yasuo in the top lane, or Zed, sorry, in the top lane, and try to invade and kill Zac. Set that Zac behind and make his life a little bit more difficult than he would prefer, and see if there's some potential to actually get something going even earlier for the team. Because we've talked about the fact that they're an all-day AD team. They need to have the edge in this game. They need to keep up. They need to have more damage than the enemy can build tank resources so that they can actually carry all the way into a win. But if they start to get behind, if one of the tanks is able to build enough armor, heck, I would build Thornmail on the Leona at least, if not also on the Mundo, just for that armor. If they build those before you can get any good damage items, it's not going to look great for Team Bacon.
That is exactly what I was thinking. As we see the champions spreading out onto the map.
So Mundo wisely warding the river, so he made sure to get a little bit of extra vision there instead of walking in and face tanking whoever the enemy decided to send. And it's not okay. Okay, I am completely in the wrong. I apologize. My predictions have failed me this time around in game number 1 because it is a Poppy in the top lane, Talimare playing that, as the bottom lane support Zed, pulling out the not quite Pike, I guess. Yeah, all right, we're gonna roll with that. It's the not Pike of Delicious Seal, gonna be trying to do sealy things, and that changes up a lot actually, because if you think about how squishy Misfortune is at the very beginning, she's only got a hair over 600 health. Zed can put down a ton of damage. You give him 2-3 levels, and he's taking Ignite, so he's going for even extra aggression. He could harass Misfortune either out of lane or straight up kill her once he's got his ultimate under turret and not even care. No need to worry about the CC from Leona, because every time that she tries to CC him, he can just jump to a Shadow Clone or use his ultimate to avoid it and get all the damage onto Misfortune. If they can keep her from getting any farm in the bottom lane, it could be a massive win for Team Bacon in the bottom lane.
Yeah, the question is, so what I'm looking at here is we've got a lot of scaling too, because remember that Mundo scales very heavily. We saw him, being a Cloud9 fan, I got to see him twice this week, once in Licorice's hands and once against us. And he was a major part of both of those games and why the team that won pulled it out. So I'm very curious to see.
Oh, In the top lane, Xeno's getting low, forced to flash, trying to use his health pots to heal up a little bit. Snare onto the mid lane, but they're just harassing each other. Both are carrying, well, the Yasuo's carrying the Ignite, so he could try to go on a little more aggressive route, but likes to get the Lux a little bit lower. Xeno in trouble, the Ignite's ticking away. I don't think he's going to die from this, but needs to be very careful because he could fall if he tries to stick around.
Yep, he's going to have to teleport base and teleport back into lane. So good job by Talimare getting some additional damage down and making sure that he pushed his opponent out of lane. That's going to slow down that Mundo significantly through this laning phase.
And the better thing is that it burned his teleport. There is an Infernal Trick in the bottom side. We passed over it earlier, so we know that it is, for both teams, are going to want this extra aggression. It's always more fun when you get some Infernals and everyone's trying to dive for him. But with that burned teleport on the Mundo in the top lane, there's no early 3-man, 4-man dives bottom lane or roaming to the mid lane and then teleporting back to the top lane. He's going to have to stay and just farm it out. Probably already a little ahead, but she has shoved this massive wave underneath. So it's going to be up to the Mundo to pick up as much farm from that wave as he can. As we do see the invade from the Tryndamere onto the Zac. He's trying to pick his targets, the squishy ears, as the red buff is kind of slowing him down, but Tryndamere just auto attacks Zac into a puddle and then finishes off all the little blobulets, and I think even took the red buff for himself on top of it.
Yeah, you said he actually slowed it. It was slowing down. It actually was kind of speeding up the process because looking at it, I believe Red Buff was
Noodle
actually...
uses the heal in the bottom lane, still going to fall. The trade from Leona gets a kill in the meantime, so they are just going to trade of kills, but it is the ADC for the support in the bottom lane, and support Zed lands a kill for his Ashe. Fallen Angel picking up the kill. First time on the stream, welcome, and getting able to play. Go ahead with what you were saying about the Tryndamere as he's thinking about ganking top lane.
It looked to me like, and I went back and watched it, that the red buff was actually attacking the blobs and helping Tryndamere finish off that kill a little bit because the blobs were closer.
That's something that I was curious about. I wasn't sure, but I was expecting the red buff to turn around the opposite direction, but maybe just the animation was a little bit weird. Either way, if the red buff helped him out, then the jungle has betrayed me. Zac has finally killed enough red buffs. The red buff's like, it's my time. I can take him out. And helps take down EIQ Malithor. So he's going to be slowed down heavily in the jungle. You can already see 33 farm to 15 on the Zac. Some of those graphs are a little bit weird just due to the nature of the jungle. But even still, that is a huge lead for the Tryndamere. Level 4, so level up on the Zac as well. Want him to keep this pressure on, though. Is he going to try to find Zac a second time? As Zac is considering invading into an empty jungle. Maybe he's just looking for the Rift Scuttle. The Rift Herald. The Scuttle.
He's looking for a Rift Herald. He's gonna be sorely disappointed as that's not gonna spawn for another 4 minutes.
Yeah, gonna have to take his time. Walks mid lane, get some free farm. Yasuo backed as well as the Lux. No kills, but just decided it is time to go ahead and recall, pick up some items. The Yasuo already finishing tier 2 boots, looking for that extra attack speed. 10 farm over the Lux. So feeling good, but Lux is one of those champions that she doesn't really start massively clearing waves until she hits that 6 or 7, farm mark. Yasuo getting some pretty good just auto attack damage onto Zac, forces him back into his own jungle.
Yeah. Zac stayed a little bit longer than he really needed to there to pick up a little bit of extra farm. As Talimare does have the ultimate, so Xeno needs to be careful here, because if he does get caught out, he's going to have a rough time.
Dive, bursted down low. He's got 200 health, ignites the Zac, wants to finish him off again, knowing he doesn't have the passive. The shield from Lux might save him, it comes back, and Malithor lives with a bait play. Yasuo, who could have walked out, goes down in the top lane. The stun from Talimare, he's level 6, has plenty of health to solo dive underneath the turret, taking out Xeno in the 1v1.
Yeah, they do need to be careful, though. Lord is invading on the bottom side, the eastern quadrant of the jungle here. So he's going to clean up a good chunk of Malithor's farm and really starve out this Zac. You were talking about the farm earlier. Now a 47-16 lead in the favor of the Tryndamere, along with that 1 kill, no death line. Tryndamere still hasn't gone back to buy either. So that first buy from Tryndamere is going to be massive.
Yeah, sitting on 2,100 gold. And even with that kill that Zach got in the mid lane, I think he did actually steal kill credit from that. He's only sitting at 1,800 gold. So he's almost 1,000 gold behind with having gotten a kill. And that is just ridiculous as Tryndamere continues to steal away his entire jungle. And feeling good about that, decides instead of trying to gank too many lanes, he's just going to make himself a fed monster. He's level 6 now, so he's going to have the ultimate if he decides to try to do any fancy tower dives. He's going on to the Infernal Drake with some pings, but I think he's just going to spin out and head back towards the base, because at some point he does need to back and make use of the massive gold lead that he has. As that comes into the mid lane, Malithor doesn't find the stretching strikes, gets shielded up by Lux, but has to walk away as he's got nothing else for the fight in the mid lane.
Malithor really needs to back off and just try to farm something out of somewhere until he hits 6. The problem he's running into is that he doesn't have anything to farm. He is going to find this Gromp and be able to capture. However, he was spotted on a ward on that side of the jungle, so they do have eyes on him, and we do see Tryndamere starting to move back in towards this bottom side.
Infernal has been spotted up. A little bit of extra vision for the side of Team Bacon, so they know the anti-Corn was in that tri-bush, clearing away those wards, but they don't have any vision on the Infernal Drake itself. And that's what I'm talking about when it comes to the Tryndamere. He could spin from behind. Oh, the Zed decides to go in, and that should be a popped Misfortune. Nothing either of them could do. Zenith Blade misses, the Make It Rain misses, everything misses. Zed's hit 6, has Ignite, says it's time for you to die, Misfortune, and is going to start many, many times at putting this Misfortune in the grave.
Yeah, that's not a great time for Misfortune. Especially since Delicious Seal is down there. I mean, Seal doing Sealy things has been a meme on this stream ever since Seal started, and it's going to continue as long as he's doing things like that.
Zed says in the whole chat of this game, wanted to support Darius, but instead it got banned away. Banned away. So now he is going to make anti-Corn pay by making sure that Misfortune gets no farm every time his ultimate's up. He's just going to go in for the kill. And you can see that it's starting to cost Misfortune a little bit, down about 20 farm, though she's going to get some of it back with the way it's currently crashing. And as long as Ashe continues to stack, it takes ADCs, especially crit ADCs, about 3 items to get truly scaled in the meta. She's going to have a pretty good amount of time for that if the Misfortune can't even get farm enough to finish 1 item.
Yeah, and now we got to keep an eye out on that bottom lane, because Fallen Angel does have Enchanted Crystal Arrow up, and Delicious Seal is probably about, I'd say, 25 seconds away from having his ultimate ready to go. It just happened to show it right at that moment.
Teleporting Noodle dropped to under 200 health. Zed flashes in and just autos, takes the kill in the mid lane. Ignite taking away the flash and barrier used by Lux. Top fight on the top side. Everyone's fighting all over the map. Malithor trying to escape up here with the Mundo. He's going to be knocked up. Talimare wants to finish him off. The Ignite's ticking away and does get 1 kill. So the first death of the fight's all over the map. There's the ultimate from Lux. Final Spark gets the Lord very, very low, but he ults trying to spin in. Enzor using the red blasting plant to be able to escape. So the Zac and Lux live very, very close to dying, but Bacon comes out slightly with a lead because the fights didn't end up killing any other than 1 person.
That was actually a really good blast cone from Enzalor there. As Lord started to spin in towards him on the blast cone, he blasted back in the opposite direction to escape there, and made it a lot easier for him to do that, as Talimare is going to take the first turret, and we'll see if this ends up costing Talimare anything. No, the cleaver misses, and so it does not result in any form of any kills.
Yeah, nice use of the heroic charge on the minion to get out from any potential engage from the Mundo. A lot of times Poppy players, especially if they're new to playing the champion, miss the fact that you can use that heroic charge on minions, scuttle crabs, jungle monsters, pretty much anything that you can target, she can hit. And so using that on those minions gets her right over to the wall, and she can just walk away. Mundo, again, focused on trying to catch up and farm. He's still down 10 farm, but credit to him, having been down and gotten killed super early on, or at least taken low and have to teleport back up, could have been a lot worse. Slow onto Enzalor in the mid lane. Ashe Hawkshot comes by, just granting them vision. They see the Mundo around the corner. Zac here as well. Dive could be in trouble if he decides to move forward too much further. Nothing for the stretching strike to land, so they shall just back away. This back to the farming. Yasuo, 40 farm over anti-Corn's mid laner of the Lux at the moment.
Yeah, it's turning worse and worse for Anti-Corn as we go through this game. We were talking about how Bacon had to have a massive early game and really push an advantage here as we do get the knockup.
Oh, Yasuo is going to fall. He's going to go down in the mid lane.
That was a nice job, a fantastic job of chaining the CC there as the binding caught in and as the ultimate hits.
Oh, and Delicious Seal underneath the turret, but he hasn't done any damage. Doesn't matter. They CC him. There's that CC chain from Leona we're talking about. The minions die, and it was a nice make it rain from the Misfortune, not only to finish off the minions, but also to make sure that Zed was slowed as well. And then one more auto attack gets a kill. So Delicious Seal's over aggression pays in a death in the bottom lane as Fox and Nova is donating a bunch of extra bits. So I appreciate the bit chain getting started as Zeno, at this point with his ultimate available at level 9, shouldn't look to die too many more times in the top. The main thing for Talimare to do is to keep him busy. As long as he's not split pushing, as long as he's not able to engage in fights with the teleport, Talimare's doing their job. And ooh, almost finishes off Zeno, forces his flash. So the next time that could be a death.
Good game sense by Talimare. Maybe not. Enzalor is here over the wall. However, here comes Dive on the backside.
Oh, we got fights back and forth because in the top lane, that's the engage with a knock-up onto Enzalor. Lux maybe going down, but Dive's diving underneath the turret. True to his name, does die to the Mundo before the Lux final spark can even come out. Zeno doesn't get slammed into the turret, but will still fall. However, the turret's chunking out Talimare extremely low. Flashes in, ignite forward, throws the buckler, gets the kill, trades for it. 2 for 2 in the top lane. Everyone dies. In the bottom lane, Delicious Seal engaged upon once again by this bottom side from Anti-Corn. However, teleporting Noodle might want to teleport out of this one as the Lord on the Tryndamere. Oh, all right, Enchanted Crusader just going to fly on by. Yeah, it's kind of a slow fly. There's a slow. Tryndamere says, I've got my ultimate. I can tower dive all day long if I please. He heals up, doesn't even use it. May want to now that Seshat is here. Yep, Zenith Blade's gonna land, and will the Q? Oh, Undying Rage just in time. Spins over the wall. The ultimate from Leona trying to slow him down. Maybe trying to stun him up so that she can re-engage, but the Ashe around the corner as well as Delicious Seal. I think that Leona goes in, gets the stun. One more auto attack. The Eclipse, no! Falls before the Eclipse can burst and take out this extremely low Tryndamere. So well played from the side of Bacon, baiting the Leona all over this bottom side. In the end, does fall, and that was 2 more kills over to the side of Team Bacon. 10-7, 4,000 gold in the lead, feeling good. But as we said, it's a full AD team, so eventually armor needs to be bought by Anti-Corn.
Eventually, armor needs to be bought, which is why I'm going to immediately criticize Mundo in the top lane, picking up the Spectre's Cowl. I know he's going for Spirit Visage to increase his healing, but that Spectre's Cowl is not going to do anything as far as his defenses for his team. He really needs to be going for armor, and that is not acceptable when your team is already behind.
Is Talimare going to Delicious Seal things in the top lane? One more auto attack might take out Xena. He's got the ultimate go. He doesn't matter. Heroic Charge puts her in range for a kill in the bottom lane. That might be the death for Zed. Once again, Eclipse bursting that, giving Leona a second kill of the game. Stretching Strike's only going to delay the inevitable for the poor Zac, who can't even jump out of the fight. Globulets kind of just waiting to die as Talimare is just going to auto all of them down, clean up with an extra 30 farm, push in the lane once again, and the 6-1 Poppy is doing Delicious Seal things, even though they're not Sealy.
I was about to say, it's a Talimare doing Sealy things up in the top lane. You send the jungler up there, and lo and behold, it's a double kill for the enemy top laner. So a lot of pushing, a lot of pressure coming out of this top side. They're having to send Malithor up there, and unfortunately, since Zeno and Malithor are both under-leveled, it ends up causing a problem as a beautiful wind wall from Dive interrupts the Zenith Blade from Seshat to stop that from stop that engage right where it was about to start.
I will still say that wind wall is the most broken ability in the game. It just blocks everything and is insane what it will do. That's a magical sword, but he blocks it anyway. Delicious Seal diving onto Enzalor, getting some poke damage, but the final spark bursts him away. He's gone. This is why Seal plays only 2 characters. It is a nice engagement, and last breath from the Yasuo finds the kill onto Seshat as they continue to push into the mid lane. It was the, hey, Rift Herald picked up. Oh, Malthor was so close to interrupting that. A few pixels to the side and he would have stopped it, but now it's going to be a double kill for the side of Bacon and the turret going down. There is nothing the anti-Corn's jungler or mid laner can do to stop it. Mundo wisely comes to the mid lane to try to defend, but it may be his own death that he gives over, using the ultimate, trying to stay alive. Drops the Rift Herald. The turret is down underneath half health, but he has pushed the members of Team Bacon out.
And he's given up a ton of damage on this top lane turret as well. Talimare pushing the snot out of this top lane, and that's going to be well over half this tower. I mean, almost all the tower's health is gone here.
At this point, Talimare says, I can take the turret shots and still kill it anyway. Zed goes to the bottom lane, puts the Misfortune in the grave once again. Fallen Angel making Register feel good about missing Enchanted Crystal Arrows. And there's going to be the tower falling for Talimare. Once again, not even concerned about the 2v1. Says, all right, more people for me to kill. You brought extra minions? That's great. I'll go ahead and pick up myself a Zac in the bottom lane. Seshat in trouble. Can't even recall BM as the Lord on the Trinimir just going to cut her down. Delicious Seal getting kill credit. And no one's touched the Infernal Drake yet. You're 19 kills to 9. How has Team Bacon not taken the Infernal yet? Maybe they're just saying, we're going to give Anti-Corn a tiny chance without even taking the Infernal. But the game exploded. It was slightly even, and then Poppy things happen in the top lane, and Zed things happen in the bottom lane. Flash forced out by Xeno. Dive trying to chase in. He just stands there BMing a little bit as teleporting Noodle walks back underneath the turret, will survive, but that is the bottom lane third tier turret falling. So it's now on to the second tier push for Team Bacon. I was going to give you a moment to talk, but Dive decides to just dive the tower. Last breath, the Tornado finds the Misfortune, gets the kill. Double Tornado gets rooted up himself. Final Spark falls him as an auto attack will finish and seal the deal. So Enzalor 3-2-2, the only one who's doing relatively well for Anti-Corn at this point in the game.
Yeah, I just love watching Dive play right now. We get another engage and just a quick kill from Talimare there as Malthor walks into his own jungle. What a fool.
Is it even an engage if it's a Poppy? Because the engage sounds like you actually have a chance at fighting. And instead, it's more like, finds a hammer that has no soft sides. Sesha, finds the stun with the ultimate underneath the turret. Talimar doesn't care, picks up the kill. Infernal picked up by Tryndamere. We thought it might be snuck away. Just kidding. Sealy was hanging out in the enemy team's base, is now slowed underneath the turret, gives a kill over Misfortune, trying to give them a tiny chance to get back into this. There's the bullet time from Misfortune, but Talimare doesn't care. What is this? Takes out Misfortune, slams the Mundo, heroic charge with the red buff, picks up the health and shield, and just goes right back to pushing the bottom lane.
Talimare is making it to where we don't have much time to talk about what's going on because Talimare just keeps engaging every time a chance is presented, and I just now realized that Talimare had a demolish.
Yeah, no, that's the extra push in the top lane this whole time, and would sit underneath the turret, taking turret shots, and just boom, 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 get that extra damage onto the turret. Seshat in trouble, tried to find the engage onto Ashe, but now is slowed and slammed and stunned, and should fall. Ooh, Final Spark might spell the death of Talimare. Finally, ignite the kill, and a Enchanted Crystal Arrow will land. Enzalor stunned up for a moment, but just turns right back around. Nice flash from Fallen Angel, gets them out of trouble, able to escape and blast cone to safety. As in the top lane, Dive trying to do Sealy, Talimare, I don't even know at this point things, pushing onto the turret, will 1v2, Xeno here to slow him down, maybe able to pick up the kill. Nice moves from Dive, avoiding the knockup from the Zac, but will still fall. None surprise to the Mundo, who's just built a lot of AoE damage. He's got Balmy Cinder now on top of his own E already.
Yeah, he's got sitting on Balmy Cinder, sitting on the Bramble Vest now, and he did finish that Spirit Visage. Zac now building a Spectre's Cowl. As well as a locket on Leona. I can kind of forgive that because it has the shield active.
Right.
But
I
you really need to be going for more armor here.
On my supports. But if you look across the side of Team Bacon, it's AD, 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 AD. There's no
it's not even
magic
the AP
damage.
poppy.
There's no magic damage on this team whatsoever. If you're building it for the health, okay, that's slightly understandable. If you're building it because it's just that item that's sitting in the recommended build path, I mean, okay, we're not gonna complain too badly. You know, sometimes people are still trying to figure out build paths, but take it as a learning lesson, free from the side of XLNC, that if the enemy team has an all AD team, literally just fill your inventory with 6 cloth armors and you'll be doing better than a Spirit Visage. At this point, that would do you very, very well. AP Tryndamere, not this game. Though he did build Lichbane, so I suppose he's got more AP than the rest of his team. I mean, it's kind of true, so there you go. Xeno moving in, trying to find a little bit of damage onto Talimare, mostly slowing them on the way out in time for Seshat to come in. Zenith's Blade won't connect as Talimare finds a nice heroic charge onto a minion. Seshat in trouble, trying to escape. The misfortune is here, but stunned up and will start to get slowed down. Walk to the base gate, trying to escape. Leona already fallen.
This
as
is
it is
a
a
5v2.
Yeah, 2v5. Goes in, picks up a second kill. The 2v5 continues. Zed is having his way in the bottom lane turret, and everyone else is keeping busy. The 3 members of Anti-Corn that are left in the 5v2, slams the Lux. She's going to fall. Dive tanking the turret. Just kidding. Talimare still tanking the turret. Now Dive takes a turn. Malthor comes out of the base, jumping in. Oh my goodness! The tornado into last breath. Dive avoids the ultimate from Zac as well. Will still die to the Mundo, but that tornado was gorgeous. Oh.
They got 3 kills in the 5v2, managed to take the top lane inhibitor tower. All weather team took the bottom lane inhibitor. So that is an open inhibitor, a dead inhibitor, on the weak side of the map where they're going to have to be down there in order to deal with those super minions, and it's going to leave Baron vulnerable.
Tryndamere, AP Tryndamere, apparently, with the Lich Bane coming in, trying to get some damage onto Xeno, but he's got the Spirit Visage, so he should be totally fine. There's the Smite, the spin in, but Lux is here for the binding and the ultimate. He's got Undying Rage, so he's going to live long enough to spin in and auto-attack the Mundo one more time. He's trying to get the heals down, finally falls. Enzor was dropped extremely low through that engage as well. And that's one thing that if you do decide to build AP Tryndamere, as ridiculous as it may sound, you get massive heals when you do use that.
I just want to say what was just said in chat here. Seshat on Leona just said, "Where's the Thornmail Ash?"
I mean, against this team...
You're the one... No. Ash is on the all-AD team.
I know. But Thornmail Ash is a meme, so you got to pay your respects a little bit. Malthor stunned up. He does have his passive, but with all the members of Bacon hanging around here, 4 strong, going to be able to clear it up. I'm not even sure where their 5th is at the moment, unless they're just slightly off the screen, as they're going to take Lux out. She's going to fall as well. Middle turret falls. Inhibitor should fall shortly afterwards. Fallen Angel's just going to slam it down with those arrows. And Mundo at this point is just throwing some emotes up because he's got nothing left. No chalices. Oh, delicious seal. Oh, gets knocked over the wall. Nice little blast from Seshat. Puts him in a safe distance away to avoid completely being obliterated by the Zed. And Xeno throws some chalices, and Enchant Crystal Arrow will miss. I mean, there's not much more to say about this, besides the teleporting noodle is going to try to defend, will fall. Nexus Turret 1's down. Nexus Turret 2 shortly to go as well. Xeno trying to distract some minions, pull them into the base. Malithor engaging onto some super minions. There is nothing left from the side of Anti-Corn. Can they take a 1 kill of the Ash? Against the final spark! 1 falls! Mundo goes down. Zac tries to pull him underneath into the fountain. Won't quite make it, but the last stand from Anti-Corn is holding on. Dive just has to walk in and auto-attack the Nexus instead. Goes for the kill and is rewarded with a double kill before finishing off the Nexus. Ace for the Yasuo. Relating back to last week's team of Hasagi. And it will be victory over to the blue side in a quite insane end of game.
Yeah, that was absolutely nuts. Talimare popping off 14-2-8 on this Poppy. Just absolutely astounding. Very well played.
All right, so let's go ahead and run through honorable mentions and MVPs very quickly, and then we'll get right into game number 2. Don't worry, all of you who are freaking out. I have to go through and clear everyone from the last game before you guys can re-sign up for game number 2. It's giving any new players, including Mina, if she wants to play, a little bit of opportunity to come in. I know, I keep calling it a blast cone. I know. It's not a blast cone. It's not a blast cone. Isn't it called like the blasting plant or something?
No, it's blast cone. Blast cone's what it's
cone?
actually called.
Oh.
I think you said blast plant.
Maybe that's
instead of blast cone.
Instead of blast cone. Either way. For the losing team, go ahead, Salek. What do you got?
I got bug splatted. One moment.
All right. Well, I'll go through the winning team, and then we'll go back. For the winning team, you'd think that Sealy's Seal would have done and destroyed everything, but in the end, I have to give honorable mention to the Lord for playing a really, really nice jungle Tryndamere, ganking a lot, and the main thing that he did was, we talked about the engage from the Zac would have been super crucial for the side of Anti-Corn, setting up for the rest of their CC, and instead, the Tryndameres decided, you know what, I don't think Zac should play this game, and just took all of the jungle away. I mean, probably played more, if we had the stats, I'd show him, because probably played more often in the enemy team's jungle than he did his own. Only 5-1-2 stat line, but dang, made life difficult for Malithor on that Zac. For the MVP, you give it to Delicious Seal, you take it from Delicious Seal, it doesn't matter, Sealy things still happen. Talimare on the Poppy, putting 1v2, 1v3, 2v5, I don't care. Just walks through the enemy team as if they were some siege minions, cleans them all out, highest gold in the game, highest kills in the game, highest kill participation in the game. Talimare did everything. This is one to write down, guys, and actually take notes of and say, okay, if Talimare's playing in the game next time, let's just ban Poppy. Just play it safe. Take it away. Don't let him play. Reverse Noodle, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Teleporting Noodle on the Misfortune, who had a very painful time in the bottom lane because support Zed kills things, apparently. And any ADC would have cried when they saw the Zed in the bottom lane. Any ADC. I don't even ADC main, and I would have cried, so. For the losing team, give it away, Salek, for MVPs and honorable mentions.
On the losing side for Team Anti-Corn, I am going to give the honorable mention over to DRF Xeno. Did what he could in the top lane and made at least some progress. He had a rough early game. However, once he finally got a couple items under his belt, as much as I criticized it, that Spirit Visage was kind of the breaking point where DRF Xeno did get into the game and start to be a little bit more effective. That's where that's going to go. And the MVP is going to be on Enzalor, doing a great job in the middle lane, making sure to land. A lot of those light bindings landed, and a lot of slows and everything. Did a fantastic job of making sure that if he did hit that light binding, he got his full combo off and executed whatever low health target he could to kind of have any kind of chance, give his team something in every fight that they were able to take.
I wasn't listening because I was talking to the chat instead. Can you repeat those two really quickly, though? I'm sure your points were extremely valid.
MVP Enzalor, honorable mention Xeno.
Thank you, and Zito. Because we do record these guys, I do have a list that I'm continuing to grow, even though you can't see it anymore. And so we will be putting that on the website when we eventually get the website up. When I eventually get the website. I'll work on that.
We're working on it.
I